children, welcome to our history session. Children, today we will be having lesson number 5 of history, that is kingdoms, kings and an early republic. So children, in this lesson we are going to see how some rich powerful men, they became Raja by performing sacrifices. Okay. So Ashwamedha or horse sacrifice, it was one of the ritual through which a powerful man can recognize him as a Raja. Again we are going to see about Varnas. Varnas means how the Brahmins, they divided the society in different categories. So this also we are going to see in this lesson. Again we are going to learn more about Janapadas. What do you mean by the term Janapadas? Again, what do you mean by the term Mahajanapadas, and how these people, how these rulers, they collected the taxes. So we are going to see about the tax collections, and we are going to see about two more important kingdoms, that is Magad and Vajji. So children, open your book. We will be having this lesson, going through this lesson, lesson number 5, kingdoms, kings and early republic. So as I have just told you now, how some men, they became rulers. So earlier, actually in the early days, Rajas, they were chosen by the people or Jana. Okay. So Rajas, these were the powerful men who were chosen by some leaders or by people. But around 3000 years ago, we find some changes taking place in the ways in which Rajas were chosen. Nowadays how we choose our government, okay, by voting, by election. Same way earlier also Rajas were chosen by the people, but before around 3000 years ago, we find that some changes were taking place in which Rajas were chosen. Some men who performed big sacrifices were now recognized as Rajas. Means in that days, around 3000 years, the men who performed the sacrifices. Now you will ask children, what do you mean by sacrifice? So here sacrifices means some performing by some rituals. Okay. Like in Hindi we can say ahuti dena kisi ki, okay, bali dena, that is called as sacrifices. So the men who performed big sacrifices were recognized as Rajas. Now one of the sacrifice was called as Ashwamedha or horse sacrifice, was one such sacrifice. So Ashwamedha or horse sacrifice means, children, here the horse, it resembles to sun, okay, God's son, and as if the sun is on the journey, or the sun is on the journey of the earth. Okay, so in same way here Ashwamedha or horse sacrifice was done. Here what the king, what the ruler, what the powerful ruler, what they used to do is, they used to set the horse free. Okay, they used to set the horse free, and this horse used to wander the whole, horse was free to wander, and it was guarded by the Raja's men. Means few men used to follow this horse, and this horse was free to wander wherever it want. And if the horse wandered in the kingdoms of other Rajas, and if they stopped it, then they had to fight it. Suppose the horse is running, okay, it is wandering, and if suppose it went to some other's kingdom, and if that person, that Raja, the owner or the Raja of that kingdom, if he tried to stop this horse, it means that Raja, he has to fight with this Raja who has done this sacrifice, who has set the horse free to wander. Means they had to fight with each other, and if they allowed to pass, then it meant that they accepted that the Raja who wanted to perform sacrifice was more stronger than them. And if suppose that the horse went to some other's kingdom, and that Raja, okay, that king, if it allowed the horse to wander or to pass by his kingdom, it means that king, he has accepted that the Raja who has done this sacrifice, he is more stronger than him. So the Raja who organized the sacrifice was recognized as very powerful, and all those who came bought gifts for them. So after this sacrifice, when the Raja, he performs rituals, that time all rest of the Rajas, they come for this ritual, bringing some gifts and accepting him as more stronger than them. Once the Ashwamedha was performed, the king assumed the title of Chakravarti. Means once this ritual was over, once this sacrifice was done, and the Raja and the person who has made this sacrifice, who has performed this sacrifice, if it was completed successfully, then this king was given the title of Chakravarti. Okay. Even you must have seen Ramayana children. Okay. In Ramayana also you have seen how King Lord Ram, he has set the horse free to wander, right? And that horse Ashwamedha, he was free to roam anywhere he want. And in that serial we have seen how Lava and Kusha, they tried to stop this horse, and this Lava and Kusha, they were brought to Raja, right? Because they tried to stop the horse. So then the soldiers of King Rama, they brought this Lava and Kusha to his kingdom, and there they started means you must have seen how Lava and Kusha, they started narrating their story. Okay. So once the Ashwamedha was performed, king assumed the title of Chakravarti, and this is how the men became the rulers. See children, here is the Ashwamedha, a journey of horse on the earth. This is the horse, okay, and it resembles the god sun. So the horse, it is on a journey on the earth. This is a king, okay. Suppose this king, so he is performing the sacrifice. So what he does here, he sets the horse free to roam, to wander wherever the horse wants, and he sends some guards, okay, some soldiers also to follow his horse, to see if somebody tries to stop this horse. And the person who tries to stop this horse, then it means that person, he does not accept this king as a ruler, and then there will be a fight between both these rulers, and whoever will succeed, whoever will win, they will be performing the rituals. Now children, we are going to see what do you mean by Varnas. So Varnas, actually Varnas means dividing the people into different categories. Okay. So after Rigveda, first of all, in the last lesson we have seen about Rigveda. Okay, it is one of the ancient book of the world. Then after Rigveda, other books were also composed. Okay, they were Samaveda, Atharvaveda and Yajurveda. So these books consisted of rules of the society. Okay, so what does these books have? These books, they have the rules of the society, like now how we have our constitution, the rules of our how to govern our country. So in the same way, earlier these books Samaveda, Atharvaveda and Yajurveda, they consisted the rules of the society. So this society, it was divided into priests, warriors, farmers, craft persons, laborers and so on. Okay, dasas, dasis, women's, like that. So earlier the society was divided into these many categories. Priests, warriors were rich, including some farmers. Okay. So that time the priests, sages, rishis or the warriors means Kshatriyas, the men who were engaged in the wars, okay, they were rich, including even some farmers, the landowners, they were rich. But some others like hunters, gatherers, laborers, they were poor. So what happened, this priest what they did, they divided the people into 4 groups, okay, called Varnas, and each Varna had a different set of functions. So this priest means they are actually Brahmins. So what they did, they divided the category, they made categories of the people into 4 groups called the Varnas, and each Varna had a different set of functions. Now we are going to see what are these 4 types of Varnas. Okay, see here. Okay, first one is Brahmin, then Kshatriya, again Vaishya, and last is Shudra, and after Shudra they have divided one more as untouchables. So Brahmin, it consists of priests and scholars, okay, academics. Again Kshatriya, this category, it consists of the kings and warriors and rulers. And next, third category is Vaishya. Here it consists of merchants and landowners, and last one is Shudra, it consists of common people, peasants and servants. And one more is untouchables, here they are regarded as outcast, means out of caste. These people includes the street sweepers, okay. Then the one who cleans the bathrooms, latrines, etc. So, these untouchables includes these people, and they were not allowed to enter the community, they were not allowed to use the same well, they were not allowed to enter the temple. So, again we will see the first Varna was Brahmin. Brahmins, they taught the Vedas, they performed sacrifices and they received the gifts. So, what is the function, what is the work of this Brahmin is, they used to teach the Vedas, okay. Then they used to perform the sacrifices. Actually sacrifices, rulers, kings, they used to do, they used to set up this means they wanted to perform these sacrifices, and here the Brahmanas, they used to help these rulers to for performing sacrifices, and in return they used to receive the gifts from these rich people. So, this was the first category, that is Brahmin. Then second category is Kshatriya. Kshatriya means rulers. Here these rulers, okay, they used to have fight battles and they used to protect the people. These Kshatriyas, they studied Vedas, they get sacrifices performed and they gave the gift. So, what is the function of Kshatriyas? They used to fight the battles, and they used to, their work was to protect the people from the enemy. And these Kshatriyas, they used to study the Vedas from the Brahmins, from the priest, and they used to get their sacrifices performed by the Brahmins, and in return these Kshatriyas, they used to give gifts to these Brahmins, and Brahmins, they received the gifts from Kshatriyas or other rich peoples. Now, third category is Vish or Vaishyas. So, Vish or Vaishyas, it included farmers, then herders, traders. Okay, farmers means those who grow crops, herders means the person who rear the animals, okay, and traders means the one who does the business or business of goods and services. So, Vish or Vaishyas includes farmers, herders, gatherers and traders. So, these people were engaged in agriculture and they used to study the Vedas, and they also can get the sacrifices performed. Means even the Vish or Vaishyas like farmers, herders, traders, these people they were engaged in agriculture, means their main occupation was agriculture. Again they also were allowed to study the Vedas, and plus they were also allowed to get sacrifices performed like Kshatriyas. Now, fourth category is Shudras. So, Shudras means they had these people, okay, Shudras, they are the people, those who have to serve the three groups, okay. So, Shudras, it include the people, those whose work was to serve these three groups of people, that is Brahmins, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. These Shudras, they could not perform any rituals, means they were not allowed to perform any sacrifices, they were not allowed to perform any rituals. Both women and Shudras were not allowed to study the Vedas. So, even the Shudras, they were not allowed to study the Vedas, including the women's. The groups were decided on the basis of birth. Like son of Brahmin would automatically become Brahmin. So, what these Brahmins they have done, what rules they have said, that the groups they were decided on the basis of birth. Like suppose a son of Brahmin, automatically he will become a Brahmin only. If a son of Shudra, he will also become Shudra. Like that, such rules these Brahmins they have set, and many persons were not satisfied with these rules also. Even the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, many people they thought that such rules are not good. They were opposed to such rules. Priest classified some people as untouchables like hunters, gatherers and people who perform burial. So these priests, these Brahmanas, what they did, they classified again one more classification was done, some on the basis of untouchables, and whom they have included in this category, they have included the persons who sweep the floor, okay, who cleans the bathrooms. Like again they have included hunters, they have included gatherers, okay, and the people who perform the burial. Burial means you know, like if suppose a person, somebody dies, then we take him to that spot, okay, burial spot. Then the person who are mainly given the task to look after that, to do that, all that rituals, that persons, they were treated as untouchables, and they were not allowed to read the Vedas, or they were not allowed to perform any rituals or sacrifices. Even their touch and sight was regarded as polluting. Means what these people, priests, they have said, ki even these people like untouchables, they were not allowed to touch, they were not touching these people, and even what they said, that these people's touch and sight was regarded as polluting. Means something something polluting, means polluting the environment, or something bad is going to happen if suppose such peoples they come and touch them, or even if they come in front of them. Many people did not accept the system of Varna laid by the Brahmins. So many people, they have opposed such systems. They were not happy with this system of Varna which was laid by the Brahmins. So children, what are the categories we have seen? First one is Brahmins, then Kshatriyas, then Vaishyas, last one is Shudras, and again one more category, that is untouchables. Now the next topic which we are going to see is Janapadas. Okay. So children, here the word Janapadas means the land where the Jana set its foot. Jana means people. Okay. So Janapada means the land where the people first set their foot to settle down. Okay. So Jana means people and Pada means foot, and here the ruler, the Rajas, and here the Rajas who performed big sacrifices, okay, they were recognized as the Rajas of Janapadas. Again I will tell you what do you mean by Janapadas. Jana means people and Pada means foot, where these people set their foot for the settlement, and here where once they have settled, so there the person, the Rajas who performed the big sacrifice, he was treated as the Rajas of these Janapadas. The Rajas who performed big sacrifices were now recognized as being the Rajas of Janapadas. Now what archaeologists have found, that archaeologists, they have excavated a number of settlements in these Janapadas. Means archaeologists, they have found a number of settlements in these areas. Where, which areas? They have found in Purana Kila in Delhi, again Hastinapur in Uttar Pradesh, and Atranji Khera in Uttar Pradesh. Okay. So our archaeologists, they have found settlements of these Janapadas near Purana Kila, again Hastinapur, and Atranji Khera in Uttar Pradesh. And again what they have found? They have found that people, okay, of these areas, they lived in huts. They used to rear the cattle. Again they used to produce the crops like wheat, barley, rice, sugarcane were cultivated. They made earthen pots which were grey, red in the color. Okay. They used to make the pots, earthen pots which were red and grey in color. Again a special type of pottery known as painted greyware was found, which had painted designs, simple lines and geometrical patterns. Means all such things the archaeologists have found in these areas. Like a special type of pottery was used which was known as painted greyware, and it was found on that pots there were some simple geometrical patterns, and these were used to serve food on some special occasions for some special people. So this was what Janapadas. Okay. Janapadas means Jana means people and Padas means food, where the people first settled set their foot and they settled. Now we are going to see, children, what do you mean by Mahajanapadas? Okay, Mahajanapadas. So about 2500 years ago, some Janapadas, they became more important than others and were known as Mahajanapadas. Just Mahajanapadas means they are the Janapadas only, but among them also, suppose there are 20 Janapadas, just imagine. So out of them, those who became more important, those who performed more sacrifices, those who were more powerful, these Janapadas were called as Mahajanapadas. Mahajanapadas had a capital city, okay. They had a capital city that were fortified. Means, what do you mean by fortified? Fortified means the cities, okay, which had huge walls of wood, brick or stones were built around them, okay. The cities which had huge walls of wood, brick and stones built around them to protect from the attacks of other kings or from their enemies. For here, forts were built to protect the people from the attacks of other kings. Also, it shows the power of the ruler. Means, why they built why they built such fortified, why the cities they had fortified or why they had forts, to show this was a symbol to show how powerful the ruler was. And again also one more point is to protect the people from the attacks of other kings. Building such walls required thousands of men, women, huge number of bricks and stones, children, okay. So building such walls, it was not an easy task. It required thousands of men, women, huge number of bricks and stones. So what will the king do? How he will maintain? Kings maintained a regular, so to look after all such things, they used to maintain a regular army for the protection of his kingdom. Again, if the king is maintaining the army, then again what he has to do? He has to pay the army. So payments were made by punch marked coins. Means, again these armies, they used to get the payments, and what they used to get in the what they used to get as payment, they used to get a punched mark coins. Punched mark coins means coins with various symbols. It is given in your text. No, it is not given, sorry. So this is what Mahajanapadas means, okay. So Mahajanapadas means some Janapadas who became some rulers who became more powerful among the other rulers. They were known as Mahajanapadas. These Janapadas, they had capital cities that were fortified. I am going to show you the pictures also of this. What do you mean by fortified? Again, these cities, they had huge walls of wood, brick to protect them from the attacks of other kings. Also forts were built, which shows the power of the ruler. And for building such forts and fortified areas, it required thousands of men and women and also lots of bricks and stones. So kings, what they do? They maintained an army, regular army for the protection of its people, and in return they have to pay this army a punch. They used to pay the army a punched mark coins, means coins with various symbols. So this is what we have seen about Mahajanapadas, children. So now these kings, okay, they have to pay to the armies. So, but from where they will get the money, okay? So they used to collect the taxes, which we will be seeing in the next topic, subtopic, that is taxes. Now even we people pay the taxes to government, right, in the form of light bill, maintenance and many other for water and many other things. So earlier these Mahajanapadas, they were building huge forts, they were maintaining big armies, they needed more resources, right, to maintain such buildings, big buildings, forts, then armies. What do they require? They require resources, they require manpower, they require materials, okay. So what they started? They started collecting the taxes in the following ways. Means they started collecting taxes or money in some or other way. So which are the ways that we are going to see? First one is taxes on crops. Okay. So, they used to collect the taxes from the farmers. Okay. So, how? First of all, taxes on crops were the most important, as most people were farmers. So, the most of the people were doing agriculture, right. So, most of the people were farmers. So, what this Mahajanapadas used to do? They used to collect the taxes on the crops which were produced by the farmers, and this tax, it was fixed at 1/6 of what was produced, children. Okay. So, whatever yield, whichever crops the farmer used to produce, so out of that 1/6 portion, okay, 1/6 portion the farmers, they have to give to the king. That was it was maintained. Okay. 1/6 means the Mahajanapadas, they used to collect the taxes, that is 1/6 of whatever was produced by the farmer. Again, taxes on craft persons. So, here a weaver or a smith may have to work for a day every month. So, here taxes on crafts person means how this Mahajanapadas used to collect the taxes from the craftsmen by employing them to do work in their kingdom for a day every month, means for 1 day or 2 day every month, these craft persons like weavers or goldsmith, blacksmith, whoever, they have to come and work in the kingdom without free of cost. Okay. Like this they used to collect. Again, third was herders were expected to, herders means those who rear the cattle. Okay. Those who look after the cattle, those who rear the cattle. So, herders were expected to pay taxes in the form of animals and animal produce, means whatever the animals used to whatever products they used to get from the animals. So, these herders, they have to pay the taxes to the Mahajanapadas. Again, taxes have to be paid on goods that were brought and sold through the trade. Again, the traders, even the traders had to pay the taxes to this Mahajanapadas on the goods which they brought or which they sold in the market. Again, last one, hunters and gatherers also had to provide forest produce to the Raja in the form of tax. Even the hunters and gatherers, gatherers means those who collect the crops and they sell. Okay. And hunters means doing hunting the animals like this. So, even the hunters and gatherers also, they have to pay taxes to the kings, to the Mahajanapadas in the form of whatever they get, the forest products, whatever they get. So, out of that, some part they have to pay to this Mahajanapadas. So, this is how the Rajas, Mahajanapadas, they collected the taxes. Okay. So, first they collected the taxes on the crops from farmers, that is 1/6 portion was it was fixed at 1/6 of the whatever was produced. Then again they use taxes on craft persons. Again, taxes were even made, even the herders were expected to pay the taxes in the form of animals and animal products. Again, taxes, they have to be paid on the goods that were brought and sold through the trade, means even the business person, traders, they have to pay the taxes to the kings on whichever goods they have brought and sold. And last one, even the hunters and gatherers, they had to provide forest produce to the Raja in the form of tax. So, children, in this session we have seen how the men became powerful and how the men became powerful and rulers. Then we have seen what do we mean by Ashwamedha. Again, we have seen Varnas. Then we have seen the different categories, how the Brahmins, they have divided the people of the society in different categories, that is Varnas. Then we have seen what do you mean by Janapadas. Janapadas means, Jana means people and Pada means food. Okay. And next one we have seen about Mahajanapadas, and we have seen about the taxes, the way this Mahajanapadas, they collected the taxes. So, we will continue our we will be continuing our lesson in the next session, children. Till then, see you, goodbye, thank you.